it sounds like exploratory testing is really
Yes.
a bigger part of testing for mobile than maybe some other
Well,
applications.
yes, exploratory testing is something that I talk about a lot because you need to be very aware of your surroundings. And in order for me to find that particular pattern, I needed to really be aware of what else was going on, which is why I say, know your architecture. Understand what is supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen, based on what you do. So there, you want to talk complexity right there. It's like, how many different variables can you consider in that one idea, that concept? And so if you understand your architecture, then now you can start breaking down the different variables. And then what you have to consider too is you have to say, well, okay, I need to be aware of what's going on while I'm doing it. So sometimes I would miss something and it would take me a little longer because I had to reproduce what it was, but I'd find something else. And I always tell people, if you find an anomaly while you're doing something, write it down on a sticky note and put it on your desk. Go back to it. But stick to what you're doing, because what I was finding was I would lose my train of thought because, oh, I found something really interesting here. And when it comes to mobile testing, I was finding all kinds of different things, again, based on the complexity of what I had in front of me. You know, when you're dealing with 6 different applications, all working together, interdependent upon one another, well, you know, it gets pretty hairy. When you're exploring the testing, it gets really hairy. And so I would write down these different ideas as I was testing. I ended up, in order to avoid this problem, I said, okay, I've got these sticky notes. I'm going to go ahead and create spreadsheets. Here are my conditions. Here are my variables. This is one spreadsheet. And I would keep actually a workbook. So I had this worksheet, then I had a second worksheet, third worksheet, just because of all these different little pieces that would come up while I was testing. And that really helped to organize my exploratory testing. And I think that's absolutely critical because you also want to maintain some sort of record so that you can repeat. And as you learn to repeat, you start to get faster, you start to get your testing done quicker, and you start to discover even more as you keep going. So each build I was doing, I was able to create more tests because of exploring, oh, I found this, oh, I found this. So the patterns were really interesting for me. And this is why I say it was such a challenge, because the sky was the limit, really. There were so many new things that came up as I was doing this exploratory testing. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I can think now of some things that I could have done. It's amazing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I loved it so much.